The following is a live broadcast of a Lone Star community radio program, recorded and broadcasted live on irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and facebook.com/irlonestar. For more information on this show, please visit our show page at irlonestar.com/shows. To sponsor or donate to this program, visit our donate page at irlonestar.com/donate, or email us at lscrstudios@gmail.com, or give us a call at 936-666-1084. Lone Star Community Radio production and broadcast is possible by folks like you. So sponsor and donate today.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
All right, here we are. Dick and Skippy in the mornings. It's the 23rd of November. Hanging out in the LSCR studios, downtown Conroe, Texas. It's 9:15. We're broadcasting live on facebook.com/dickandskippy. Join us there, comment, and follow us on the video. Or you can always text call at any time at 936-228-9368. And yeah, moving on. We're hanging out in the studio with my co-host, Skippy. How you doing, Skippy?
Good morning. Do you have any idea of the context of the music you chose for today?
No, I learned more about 80s television.
This was
what's 70s. Funny? Well, it was 70s, 80s. What was funny was I was talking to a buddy, and I didn't even think about this, but you know those shows that were so successful in the 70s and 80s. There's plenty of other networks who brought on a competition kind of show that's very similar in theme. So, like, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you know, the A-Team was, like, the most successful one, but there was, like, 3 or 4 other shows that try to copy what the A-Team was.
And sometimes the copy becomes more popular than the original. In fact, Airwolf was one that was very popular.
That was like a Knight Rider kind of thing,
well,
right?
It was actually a rip-off of Blue Thunder. So there's a film called Blue Thunder with Roy Scheider about a police helicopter that can do all this cool stuff, stealth mode. And they did a TV series version of it that only lasted a few episodes, but I think it was ABC came up with their version of it called Airwolf, and that was the one that took off. No one remembers Blue Thunder.
Yeah.
Oh, but for every Dallas, there was a Dynasty or a Falcon Crest or a Flamingo Road. For every
well, this is funny to me because I don't know these things. And so
I'm your historian.
When he was telling me about the shows he watched, it was just like when we looked them up, they were hilarious. Like we watched Sledgehammer, and I couldn't tell I couldn't tell if it was a parody because the overacting was just like that. Like he always talked about.
No, it was a parody.
Okay.
They ended one season where Sledgehammer actually nukes the city by accident, and so the next season it had to be a prequel season, like 5 years beforehand.
Oh wow, that's smart writing right there.
Yeah, but see, that was the day of the outrageous stuff. That was off of the Police Squad, which was the original TV version of the Naked Gun.
Yeah,
Naked Gun were a couple of movies based on the TV series where you just had that the Zucker family.
The comedy was
craziness.
A little different. But I enjoyed how ridiculous it was. But yeah, so that I think the theme song today was from the greatest American Hero, which was also a parody kind of thing.
Not really parody. It was kind of a feel good. Basic premise is William Catt plays a teacher.
Yeah.
Who his name was Ralph Hinckley, which is funny because his name originally was Roy Hinckley, and then Roy Hinckley was the guy that the killer, so they had to change his name to Ralph.
Oh, the character's name.
Yeah,
okay.
The character. And aliens give him a Superman suit that does stuff, but he promptly loses the instructions, so he doesn't know how to make it work. So like he can never fully fly. He just kind of, can never get over 3 inches off the ground.
He crawls the race instead of running the race.
Connie Selica was in it. Robert Culp, and then they tried to do a female version of it.
Well, that's what's so funny is that, I was telling you off the air that Holly and I were watching SVU. and that's Law and Order Special Victim Unit, and they have like 20-something seasons, so and each season probably had 20 episodes, give or take. And it's amazing to see all these actors who are guest stars, who are now bigger actors, or vice versa. And the same thing with these older television shows, is they're just filled with people who were trying to make it in Hollywood, and they were, guest stars or villains.
But the same thing happened in the 70s with like The Love Boat or Fantasy Island, where you would have your fading stars from the 50s, 40s, and 60s thereabouts come on as the special guest on The Love Boat, and that would be their thing.
Well, yeah. That's
Speaking of Law and Order, it's kind of funny. I was in my office the other day, and I sometimes have the TV on in the background, just on a random channel. And I was on a channel where it was a Law and Order marathon, the original Law and Order, and it was one of the final episodes of this 25-year history.
Yeah.
And it's where Sam Waterston, who was the hotshot DA, ADA, the whole time, now he's the grown-up elder statesman, like the Fred Dalton Thompson, who has to smack down the younger guy. And in this episode, the younger guy does something that Sam Waterston had done like 20 years previously, the same thing. And Waterston smacks him down. He's like, "But you did that 20 years ago, man. I was just following your footsteps." And Waterston, "I made a mistake 20 years ago." It was just so funny seeing how that same character grows 20 years.
Well, I mean, I would love to write for a Law and Order, especially like an SVU, because the topic is so horrible. But you have to make a TV show out of it. Like, that's like the challenge. Is how do we make a TV show about a guy getting his private part cut off? That kind of thing. Like, all right, let's see what we had to make it appropriate for television.
Or it's not set in a land with dragons. You got to set it in reality too.
Yeah, and they're pretty creative with a lot of the language they used, and it was just I was shocked on some of the episodes we watched because they were very the visually graphic, no, but like mentally when they kind of tell you the story, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, listener Misty points out she's remembering China Beach, which was a female version of Serious MASH or Tour of Duty, which was itself a TV version of Platoon. There was a point where Vietnam was the big thing.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, and those shows are so bad and so great.
No, they were awesome.
Well, did Airwolf? I looked it up a little bit.
So the first
did they
season,
make a movie?
No, what happens? The first season of Airwolf had Jan Michael Vincent, and
it says they did. It says Airwolf of the movie, 1984.
Oh, they must have tried it. Probably was like a backdoor pilot or a reboot that would have failed. Because what happened was in the original season, Jan Michael Vincent was on, and one of the backstories is he's looking for his missing brother. And at the end of that first season, they couldn't afford to keep making the show how it was because they were using real helicopters. Jan Michael Vincent cost a lot of money. So they killed him off or made him disappear, brought in the brother who's like a non-actor, kind of like, Barry Van Dyke kind of character.
Okay.
And you could tell instead of a real helicopter, they use like a model in front of a green screen, and you can actually see the rotors like they're almost spinning the rotors with their hands. And I think the USA Network bought it.
Oh, no, yeah. We're, like the intro itself, you could tell it was a miniature.
But in the first season...
Or it sped up. Basically, they speed up the footage to make it look like it's going really, really fast.
Oh, yeah, because it had a turbo. But, I've got the theme song on my iPod. Yeah, it was that was a Glenn Larson production.
Yeah,
he and Don Belisario they owned the 70s and 80s. It's like Quinn Martin owned all the detective shows from the 60s and 70s. Barnaby Jones, Ironside, stuff like that, Rockford Files. And then the 70s and 80s was Glenn Larson, who was responsible for the original Battlestar Galactica or Knight Rider or Airwolf. And then Donald P. Belisario was in charge like Quantum Leap and other ones. And they kind of owned the 80s into the 90s.
Yeah, I believe it, man. Because like some of those shows, especially with my friend who I was spending time with, he really liked those shows. Like he's like, this is what I remember growing up with when I was younger and stuff like that. And it was funny to me because I was like, I'd be down for these shows. Like if I was around during that
time. There
time.
Needs to be a channel or a streaming service or something where it's all everything from Barney Miller.
Airwolf is on Peacock. The NBC,
is it?
Yeah, and then Tubi has I want to say Sledgehammer. But
although the one thing I'm not happy about with Peacock right now, because I put it on, not only can you not have it on a Kindle stick.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Because there's legal issues. But I was watching a TV show that I'd seen before and I knew well on Peacock. And I got to the end of the show and I realized that they cut out about 10 minutes.
Really? What show?
It was the remake of Battlestar Galactica. And I was watching the final episode of it because I liked it.
Okay.
And there was a subplot that they would usually cut out for syndication, when you got to squeeze it down to fit in extra commercials. And that's what Peacock ran, not the original, but the shortened down version.
It's funny. I was thinking about this the other day because Home Alone celebrated like the 25th anniversary or something like that.
Oh, dear.
And Chris Columbus?
Yes, Chris Columbus,
the director, and Macaulay Culkin did in the 2000s did a commentary together. And it was really funny because it was very insightful about the production, especially about Macaulay Culkin being 6 years old or 7 years old, and you're talking about the shooting and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, for a good period when DVDs were really popular and they were able to cram a bunch more info on the movies, like they do deleted scenes and all that stuff. And now we're in streaming, and I go, that sucks that the commentary has died. Because some of my favorite movies have wonderful commentary on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Probably one of my favorites is you could buy the Ultimate Matrix collection. And basically it has like 7 commentaries on it. Mm-hmm. And one of them was like the art director. One of them was the VFX team.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorites was a bunch of philosophers. So they had 3 philosophers on there. Like Cornel West was one of them. Conroe West?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun listening to all 3 movies and them talking about the interpretations.
Yeah, you can play it over. And I had, once upon a time, a special DVD of Alien, the original 70s Dan O'Bannon, Sigourney Weaver one. And it had like 5 different audio tracks. One was like cast commentary, one was a director's commentary, one was like the behind the scenes stuff. And then it had 2 commentaries, one where it was just the soundtrack, just the music, which is beautiful. I would actually kind of put the DVD on and fall asleep to it because the music was great. But there was also one where it was the music with selected sound effects. And sometimes I'd put on the wrong one. So you'd have music playing, then wake you up. And I think there's another one where it was an alternate. Yeah, there was one more track where they had like 2 different soundtracks, one that they'd commissioned and one that made it to the final movie. And
that kind of stuff, I know a lot of people don't really don't really pay money to do that, but there are certain people, especially streaming servers, want to keep you streaming, and they always have the same catalog. Like if I was Netflix, I would have put a little bit more effort into their movies and shows and do commentaries. That way people rewatch them, even though they're probably horrible movies. Like at least people will check it out again.
Netflix should be able to have a second audio,
especially movies that are like big budget. Like imagine watching Martin Scorsese's recent one that he did for Netflix, and they had a commentary for all the actors and stuff like that. See, that would be enjoyable to me because they're all old timers and they're all probably all friends. So the flow of the conversation is probably well done, and they're able just to kick back.
It's funny you mentioned that because just a few weeks ago, I got a bug up my nose to rewatch The Abyss.
Yeah,
James Cameron. But I always loved. I had the special VHS double tape of the extended edition, which just added so much more.
Yeah,
and I went looking for streaming of the extended edition. Not there. I had to get from like eBay a DVD because it's not on Blu-ray. The extended edition of The Abyss. And so I got it. I'm watching it because not only it was funny that it's a DVD, so it's just not clear at all on my TV, but also it had like a kind of a pop-up video, not a commentary, but visual, like subtitles, where it would say, "Oh, this is a model suspended in smoke and simulated." And so I watched the whole movie with all that pop-up video trivia. Cool.
And coming out, which they've been highly promoting, is the Snyder cut of.
Justice League.
Justice. I want to see the Avengers, but I was like, that's not it.
I keep hearing things about this that it's only 2 minutes of original footage, or it's recut, or I have no idea what this is about.
Yeah,
I know that Zack Snyder, he was filming it, and then I think his daughter tragically died or something, and he backed out of the movie.
Yeah.
He was halfway done, and so they brought in someone else to finish it.
Well, yeah, and that's something like I wonder if the streaming services are going to move more towards doing special things like that just to see how this is received because. Yeah, like the Lord of the Rings, the better version are the extended versions. Like they're legitimately better. It's not just like
8 times out of 10 the extended editions are better.
We had a longer death scene, but like no, they added like 20 to 30 minutes of actual scenes
and seamlessly integrated with music and everything. It worked great.
But and you can't really stream those. I know HBO has them, and then I couldn't find a version that was extended. I own the extended versions on DVD, but not that's just
me too.
Yeah,
the little box extended.
I just looked up. You know who Criterion Collection is?
Oh yeah. So you got to hit certain standards.
So Criterion Collection, people don't know, they're a DVD, Blu-ray. They went all the way back. They've been around for so long. They had Laserdisc,
Mm-hmm.
And they spent a lot of time on the movies where they do artwork, they do books. Some of the movies come with books.
Yeah, it's a film that hits certain standards that to get in the Criterion Collection, you get special treatment on this release.
And they do. And what I like about them, because I like the audio commentaries, is a lot of their movies they'll get historians on, and they'll talk about, especially like Akira Kurosawa movies.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get historians on or professors talking about movies or whatever, and apparently they got The Irishman. So I'm interested to see what extra materials they get with the Martin Scorsese movie. They're releasing a DVD version of it. So
I wouldn't mind DVD coming or Blu-ray coming back because again, these extras that just aren't in the streaming world.
Yeah.
That I miss, and I think when people realize, it's like how vinyl's making a comeback. Sooner or later, the kids are going to realize, hey, there's stuff on these discs that we're not getting, and it'll become hip again.
Yeah, well, I have several Criterions, and
Criteria.
What are they called? Criterions, the movies. One thing I love about it is they usually do sales, so I'll buy a movie for their movies are fairly expensive. For example, The Irishman, brand new, $30, and that is the Blu-ray. But if you want the DVD, it's $23. But still, some of them can get real expensive. And I've found a lot of my favorite movies just by going to their sales and picking one up for $15. And I'm like, oh, this is an old movie. This stuff like that, and then it turns out to be one of my favorites. So
cool. I'm always on I'm on a constant lookout for 3D.
And
DVDs.
You say there's a standard, right, for this company?
Oh, to get on the Criterion Collection, you have to.
I don't think you understand. I think you should retract that statement because they have RoboCop.
Yeah.
And they have Armageddon.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know.
They don't have to be Oscar-winning plots, but the special effects or the music or the direction can do it. Hawk the Slayer maybe on Criterion Collection. I don't know.
Fair enough. Well,
I need 3D movies, by the way. That's because I got a 3D TV.
I gotta utilize that.
And that was a fad that didn't last too long. They're not making them 3D anymore, so I'm having to look on Amazon. But unfortunately, pickings are pretty slim, or they're disproportionately expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always a bargain bin for those, especially with DVDs and Blu-rays today. It's kind of funny people still buy those, but I can understand because I own over 600 movies, and I'm like, all right, maybe I had to downsize them because they took up so much room. I bought the little binders.
I had so many, and between divorce and flood, I lost so many DVDs and VHSs that I wish I had back.
But yeah, so let's kind of move on with the show. It's 9:30. Coming up around 10, we do have a special guest.
What?
We have two special guests, really. Today we're going to have the University of St. Thomas Max Center, which is a new welcome. I'll call it a welcome center, but we're going to learn more about it. It just opened up down the street here in Conroe. The University of St. Thomas is opening up several programs here for the Conroe, Montgomery County area for people looking to go back to school or to go into school or whatever you want to put it. And we're going to learn all about that. I know the nursing program is kind of the spearhead program up here. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have, I believe, her name is Dr. Carla Alsandor. I like that last name. Speaking of Lord of the Rings. And Brenda Banegas, who is the main person, the main contact there. So they're going to be on. So if you have questions about school and stuff. And speaking of school, we also did a remote interview with Dr. Elisa White over at Sam Houston State. So we're gonna have it's kind of a school week, even though everyone's off school here on.
We're making up for it.
And then I also wanted to announce that we will be here on Wednesday with a cool guest who is a traveling chef who has a show kind of like a online / I think his program is on a lot of South American television and stuff like that. So he's in town, and so he wanted to come on, and so I'm excited about having that.
I wouldn't mind combining.
I'll put more info on our Facebook about who he is.
I wouldn't mind combining a South American cooking show with a telenovela.
What's that?
You know those Mexican soap operas where everything's like on 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lighting's really good.
Well, Dick, the only way you can improve on this week is if you told me we were also going to have a show on Friday.
Yeah, that's the Friday show. Is the Sam Houston show. So we recorded that interview, but we'll still do a show in the first half. Mm-hmm. And then don't forget, we visited Torchy Tacos for this week's taco review.
That's right.
We actually were going to go visit another place, but it wasn't open. COVID kind of has people all over the place today. And fortunately enough, Torchy's was open. It was down the street, kind of. So we go, hey, let's do a chain. This is our first chain review. And we met Ray, so we're gonna try to get Ray, who's the general manager there, and he was like, "Oh, you're reviewing these tacos? Let me make sure they're made right." I loved it, and it was our first review where the main head honcho watched us.
Yeah, he was off camera watching us, but our reviews were real.
Yeah,
we felt in no way intimidated to give better reviews than we meant to.
And so that's coming out at 3 p.m. today, so keep an eye on Dick and Skippy's social media. But until then, we got a couple minutes for the doctor and folks from University of St. Thomas come in. People are going to school. So let me ask you this, and the listeners on Facebook can chime in.
Yeah, we got quite a few today. I want to say hi. We got Dennis and Angie and Terry and even Mrs. Skippy and Misty.
There you go.
And more.
So people, I've noticed it was almost
Andy?
like a whole new wave of people. The masks and like, is there a lockdown right now?
No.
In some states.
Yes.
Okay.
Lockdowns, curfews, because the virus magically disappears at 9:59 p.m.
Because you told me it was going to be gone on the 4th, but you lied to me.
My assumption was that there would be a quicker result to the election.
Your voodoo witch was wrong, and she read the bones incorrectly.
That's right.
So, but like I kind of noticed it, and I was like, did I miss something? I feel like I missed something, and then I had to ask you, and so it seems that other places are closing down, and just keep that pilot light lit, guys.
So I have a question, and I'm going to tread very carefully when I say this because I don't want to be. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. On Facebook, there is an associate of mine, not really a friend.
Getting online fights again.
No. In fact, I didn't respond to it, but I want to now because this is an honest question. So she...
Are you asking me this question?
Yeah, and maybe the listeners too. So who it is unimportant. It's not even a close friend of mine. But she was very, very, very upset and went on a big rant about why people are going out and shopping at all. You know, you can get stuff delivered, mask or no mask, you shouldn't go out, this and that. I mean, it was this very lengthy diatribe where just swearing and cursing at everybody who just for breathing. And then the quote punchline at the bottom was she was so upset because her mother got COVID.
Okay.
And there are some things that separate us from the animals. And one of those things is not acting on every impulse. And I started to write, how did your mother get it then? Then I stopped myself because I knew she was obviously upset because if my mother got COVID, I would be equally upset. But I have to ask for someone to be so fervent about how dare you go outside at all. I mean, this is what she's saying, not just going to work or whatever, but you should stay in your house, lock your doors, have your food delivered, don't touch anything. And which is her right to demand that, but then to say I want this because my mother got COVID, but how her mother must have gotten COVID by doing the exact same thing that this lady is.
So what are you worried about? Are you worried?
I'm not worried about it.
She's not beating her mother for going out? Is that what you're worried about?
No, I'm trying to get a sense of the mindset because I feel many of us are being fed some pablum about lockdown or masks or whatnot that's flying in the face of a lot of science.
Sean, I think we're dealing with, everybody's got an opinion on it, which is wonderful because you can enforce your opinion on social media like you do every day. Mm-hmm. And to give you an example, I had, on the weekends I work at 300 in the mornings, help open up and do things. And I ran into a bowler, a customer was complaining about people not wearing their masks while bowling. And I was like, well, you don't have to wear a mask when you're bowling, but we have hand sanitizer. Like when you're up there bowling, you don't have to. We space people out. And she was concerned about it, and I was like, well, ma'am, like I can put you as far away as people, but people are coming in. Like, and in my mind, I go, why am I trying to reason with this lady? Like, if you're afraid of COVID, if you don't want to don't put yourself in a scenario like a bowling alley. Does that make sense?
It does. Just yesterday,
because I was trying to make her feel good about everything, but then it was like at one point she's not going to be satisfied, and I'm like, because you're at a bowling alley. Now I understand if you're at another like place of business and stuff like that, but it's kind of like you're at a bowling alley. It's kind of like you're going to deal with what you.
I think people can't. Well, yesterday I was house managing for an afternoon show at a theater, and this theater is very much, everyone that comes in is 30% capacity. Everyone gets scanned. We say, wear a mask. You're sitting in groups where no one else is near you by a certain number of feet. But the actors were concerned, and I got this word about because this theater's allowing you to eat and drink inside the theater now. Instead of congregating at the concession stand, you can buy something and go and eat and drink at your seat. But people will be taking off their masks to eat and drink and then keep them off for the whole production.
Yeah.
So I was asked, can you tell the audience, put your mask back on as you're not eating? So scientifically, COVID doesn't magically stop when you're eating something. So whether your mask is up or down while you're eating is irrelevant. If COVID's there, you're going to get it. But I also, as I've said many times, appreciate the placebo effect, or just you want to mitigate some stuff. So I went out before the show, talked to the audience, welcomed them, said, hey, listen, do me a favor. We're hanging on by the skin of our teeth. Every business that's open is just one cough away from shutting down for good. So you've been awesome about following the social distancing and wearing your mask coming in and this and that. But if you can please make sure that while you're eating, put your mask back on after you're done eating and drinking, that would be awesome. Is everyone cool with that? And I got applauded, and it worked just fine. No one was doing the whole, how dare you, you're quashing my rights or anything. So, well, in that situation, of course, coming to a theater, again, in the history of the universe, no one has ever attended the theater at gunpoint. No one's forcing anyone to go to the theater.
And that's what I mean, like, I feel like if you're going to have that opinion on it, just kind of, I was like, just stay home. Like,
that's my question about this gal who diatribe, and Misty raises a good point. She says anger makes people want to blame someone, and I get that. But this was so because the people going, yeah, screw everybody. I mean, all the responses were freaking me out because it was like getting this mob going about how dare you go outside to eat or even go through a drive-thru that you should have all your food delivered. But it's like, how can you reconcile that with that your mother got COVID? How did she get it? And I can't be the guy to ask her that because obviously she's angry and in grief.
Well, you're that guy.
Well, I want to use this platform to see if anyone can help me understand, and I'm not.
Well, we have a doctor coming in, so maybe
that would work.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean it's going to be. I don't think that should be the topic of the conversation.
We're not going to make it the topic of the conversation. And St. Thomas is my alma mater, so we can talk about the good old days.
Yeah, they're still hanging on.
No, they're growing big time.
That was a joke. Yeah, of course.
No, there was a time where they were hanging on.
They're here, though. They're here in Conroe, which is wonderful. I think that's one thing I was very impressed with that interview with Lisa White, Dr. Lisa White, was, Sam Houston having such a footprint here in Montgomery County, even though it's Huntsville, but, like, it is probably one of the...
It's the epicenter that reaches down this far.
And maybe St. Thomas is trying to come in and they're going to have a little...
Smackdown. Cage match.
What would be the Conroe... or Montgomery County's like game that you'd play to see who's better? Like, when you visit places like, oh, they do, knife fights, or like they do,
who has the better theater?
What's the cultural thing here?
For me, it'd be who has the better theater or has the most bookstores.
Would it be fishing? I guess because the lake. Like what?
But that puts you at an unfair advantage or disadvantage if you don't have a lake.
Because like this used to be a timber town. So I can see, like, who can chop the fastest wood or whatever. But that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think of today. What's today's, like, who can shop better at the mall? Like, what do people do here in Montgomery County?
Well, see, the Woodlands has a mall. Conroe has an outlet store.
Yeah, who can shop better? I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a team. We don't have, like, a baseball team or something here.
Although over the weekend, broadcast the
That's high
football
school.
game.
I'm talking, like...
We had Conroe versus the Woodlands.
What's here?
That was quite the game. What's here? That's a good question.
Because the only thing I think is the lake. That's the only thing I can think of. And we have that skydiving thing. But that's...
The skydiving.
That's not like...
iFly?
Yeah, but it's not, like, culturally Montgomery County. What's culturally... Like, barbecuing? The county fair is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I was about to say established city traditions like fairs or festivals.
Yeah. Who can throw up the least on the rides?
There you
That
go.
should be one.
Those parking lot pop-up carnivals, the least number of deaths.
Yeah, I don't know. If y'all been in Conroe, Montgomery County for a long time, let us know what you think is the cultural challenge or the event. Because I can see the fair. I can see the fair being it. Because that's been going on for 40-something years plus. I think longer probably.
But you got the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and then you have the Conroe or the Montgomery County Rodeo. Now, I think per capita, the Montgomery County can hold its own against Houston, but the big names go to the Houston one. You get the big rock stars going to the Houston Rodeo because of the tradition, and you have lower tier entertainment.
Well, what sucks about and this is coming from a person who their family was involved with the livestock and rodeo in Houston for a long time. What sucks about it now is it's not a local thing. Meaning, like, there are some participants who are in Houston who raise animals and bring them and do those things, but it's like a lot of like the rodeo and everything is all outside people coming in, and so the people who visited are the Houstonians, but they're not participating in the event. Now, I know there's a small collection, but like, for example, Montgomery County, majority of people involved with the Montgomery County Fair, going to it, visiting it, buying things, selling things, and all that kind of stuff are from the county.
They're in county, right.
So, and I think that's kind of the lost connection between the two fairs.
That makes a lot of sense.
The Houston Fair has now become just it's a spectacle.
It's an international draw. I get that. It's like the state fair.
Well, they started changing that a little bit when they started. I think they changed it to where the first act is a Texas act, but it's not necessarily a Houston act. But I think they at least have one Houston act there, right? Like,
I think so. They also have several stages.
Because there's a lot of famous artists who are from Houston.
Yes, this is true.
So, did you ever get Beyonce there? I feel like Beyonce's from Houston, right? Or is that just like she was born
No,
here?
she is.
She was born here, but she wasn't
I
raised.
had a meeting with her dad in his office.
Wasn't raised here.
I had a meeting with Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, in his office in Houston one time. It was one of the more surreal business meetings I ever had. First off, I was intimidated because his office is stuffed with memorabilia. You got all these Grammys on the wall behind me. But halfway through the meeting, we're talking business, and someone comes in, and it's his hairstylist, and he gets a haircut right there in the middle of the meeting, like nothing's
that's a power
going
move.
on. That totally was.
That's a power move. I like it.
It threw me off. I recovered. But
one of my buddies was telling me what they do now, and I guess it's like a COVID thing, but he hires a barber to come to his house, and he gets my other buddies all chip in, and they get haircuts all at the same time. So it's like an event.
Yeah.
So for like 4 hours, there's like 10 people getting haircuts in some guy's house.
That sounds.
I kind of laughed about it.
I prefer poker nights myself, but whatever gets the guys together.
Well, we don't really understand what's new and developing and stuff like that.
No, afraid not.
Yeah. But yeah, is there anything else you want to cover before our guests come in?
Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Still no final count. Legal instruments are doing their thing.
You know what? You're talking about the election
Yeah.
stuff? So, like, I feel like it's going to be one of those scenarios it's just one day someone tells me what's happened.
It'll be once it hits the Supreme Court. Everything's got to hit the Supreme Court at this point, which is
so
why
it's just like, all right.
the White House or the Trump campaign was
there's
very
no timer on it. It's just kind of like one day.
Yeah, there's a ticking clock.
Well, I mean, was it February or January?
January 20th is inauguration day. This has to be over and done with before.
Like,
then.
you can't delay inauguration day. So it's like that's a
no. There are instruments in place. If there's not a president named by that, then
all
the
right,
Speaker
cool.
of the
So I don't
House
know
becomes
things.
the president. Do you want President Pelosi?
Yeah, I do.
You do.
I really do.
You do.
Well, that's one thing I'm very curious about is how the media is going to continue following politics going forward. You know what I'm talking about? Because it is kind of funny to me that
it's going to go back to the fawning coverage.
Because
of
eventually,
eventually,
COVID and everything's going to not go away, but like the way it's handled is we're going to kind of go back to what the new normal is. So you can't use that as an excuse to like say you can't allow all these reporters in, or like you can't. There's no way to get around it. It's like you're gonna have to do something.
But you see, you don't need COVID now. Bearing in mind the previous administration,
I think COVID is because think about it. Like they're not directly saying we're not doing it because of COVID, but the way events are handled.
Oh, I agree.
You're like, hey, we have to limit. He's only gonna be here for 10 minutes, or she's only gonna be here for 10 minutes because of.
But you don't need to use COVID as the excuse. The previous administration, the Obama administration, people forget that Obama did not do press conferences at all. There was no media access to the White House.
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention.
But it was a big thing. Now, here's the thing. This current administration, there's been like unfettered access from the media to the White House because Trump engages directly. And so, but if you look back on the previous 8 years before Trump, there were precious few Obama speeches that weren't State of the Union or whatnot. He did not give them. Media were not allowed. They didn't have the opportunity to ask questions, to get updates. Media was kind of okay with it back then because, like, well, obviously the president knows what he's doing. So you don't need COVID to go back. Let's presume Biden is going to assume the presidency. He didn't have to have COVID to say, listen, I'm just calling a lid on the day, because he's been doing that for the whole campaign. He called a lid at 9 o'clock every morning. Media went on to other things, no problem. So I think it's going to go back to that. There's going to be no updates, or that the Vice President Harris will give those updates, and they'll follow her just fine and dandy. And the media will get back to how they did, which is just fawning coverage of their favorite.
All right.
And same thing with like the Tonight shows and stuff like that. They'll get back to forgetting that for 4 years they, eviscerated half the populace.
I see the Tonight show's going away.
I would like that. I would love all these late night shows.
The format.
Yeah.
Because I
would very much
I've
like
heard that Conan O'Brien's quitting.
Well, he's going over to HBO Max for a talk show.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what David Letterman did with Netflix.
Yeah, and I got no problem with that whatsoever.
So they're like the new Larry Kings?
Yeah, with Larry King nowadays.
Well, because that was kind of Larry King's stick, right? Like, because I know he started doing news. He was a reporter, or like he was
back in the Pony Express
Well, I know, but I'm
days.
saying like he eventually just goes, hey, I just want to interview people.
Yeah.
So that's my primary source.
Barbara Walters, the same thing. Yeah. A hard-hitting journalist, and over the years, just even Oprah in her own way.
I don't know if all I know Oprah is just the name now. Like, I don't know what she's doing. Is she still doing her show?
Yeah, but it started off with being a journalist and that, and
but
then
she's
the
got
interviews.
a show. Yeah. She's still doing that?
Oh yeah.
See, I have no idea about that stuff. It's like not on my radar.
Ellen DeGeneres is still doing her show, and I say good on her. Because remember, they were going after her because she was cold and wouldn't make eye contact.
I like it, though. I like it. So that's one thing I really enjoy about the different types of people in this world. When you meet somebody like that, like who gets a haircut during a meeting and stuff, like to me, that's awesome. Because it's kind of like, when you're right, like when did you feel comfortable about doing that in front of people where it's like, you're not really important to me. I'm going to get a haircut because I don't have any time.
I am too busy to not
I like it.
have a haircut.
I wish people would do that with me.
It was effective. It was quite the meeting, and I ended up stage managing a show for him at the Hobby Center. So I've got his phone number in my contact list, and one day I will whip that out when it can benefit me the best. But yeah,
I guess why would that be an important phone number to have?
A multiple Grammy winning producer.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
It's a phone number I'd rather have and not need than the other way around.
Okay. Well, anything else? Because I know we got to be wrapping it up.
Let's see. Thanksgiving coming up. Favorite Thanksgiving dish? Go. Or worst? Or both?
Anything that's reheatable.
Favorite?
That's my favorite.
Okay. What's the one dish you just can't take?
I mean, I guess it'd be like the cranberry, whatever. I mean, I don't really care for it. It's not like it's bad. It's just like there's so much other better food for the.
Unfortunately, because
of
of
the limited real estate I have, there's so much better food.
Because of my taste buds or whatnot, I cannot abide in any way, shape, or form stuffing, yams, or pea salad.
Well, you know what's strange to me is my mother never brined a turkey. And I told her, because I brined one, I was like, I don't understand why you're not doing this. Because my mom cooks for, we usually have about 20 plus people or whatever at the house. I don't know about this year, but
Hey, we're in Texas. You can have over as many people as you want.
She would cook so much, she would cook another turkey for people to take home. Because so many complain that there wasn't enough to take home.
Hey, there's only 2 drumsticks.
And
there's 4 of
what I'm
us.
saying. My mom would make 3 Thanksgivings. That way everyone can leave with a little bit of everything.
How odd that my invitation hasn't shown up in my mailbox yet.
But she never brined. And I was like, why aren't you not brining your turkeys? It makes it 10 times better. And it's so simple. It's not like you're buying the most expensive turkey or it's a fresh kill turkey or anything like that. It's like, all you got to do is just soak it in salt and water. Or if you want to change it up, you can do it. And just.
But if she got her recipe from her mom and got it from her mom, you don't want to jack with it too much.
No.
You got to have it brined, huh?
Well, it's just so much better. And and especially with the amount of work she does, it's just an extra 10 minutes, but then you have to wait to do it
Well, Mom, if you're listening to the conversation, your beloved son says your turkey sucks.
Yeah, you suck, Mom.
So
work a little harder.
Yeah,
you gotta earn that hug and I love you.
So give me your unbrined turkey, and you brine your own.
But no, for Thanksgiving, that would definitely be my answers. The cranberry stuff never really impresses me too much. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'm all open for anything. I'll try whatever. So
yeah, most of the traditional Thanksgiving dishes I just can't have.
That's because you're a really picky eater.
I am.
It's annoying.
I'm oh so picky.
Well, our guests are here. So
they are. They're outside the door,
going
demanding
to take a break.
entrance.
I believe it. It happens. But
okay, they're getting bricks now.
What is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Buy low, sell high.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get our guests on. We'll be right back with the University of St. Thomas here in Conroe. So stay tuned here to Dick and Skippy in the mornings.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Vell Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit, began in 2014 with a mission to strengthen the future of veterans through leadership and entrepreneurship training. We've invested over 1,400 hours of training in our veterans while connecting them with community entrepreneurs and leaders. Our mission is to continue investing in our veterans who have given so much for our country. Please join us in our mission by visiting vellinstitute.org. That's VELinstitute.org.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available in Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Welcome back. Dick and Skippy in the mornings. with Joey Scarberry. I'm flashing back to my youth.
That's good.
The Greatest American Hero. I can't believe you never saw the show, Dick.
I can. It was made in like the late 70s.
So?
Okay.
So is Barney Miller. You never saw that either?
No.
Rockford Files?
I don't have time for that.
Space 1999?
There's better television out.
No.
Yeah.
Wash your mouth out with soap, young man.
So welcome back to Dick and Skippy here in the mornings. Lone Star Community Radio, irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, Facebook.com/Dick and Skippy. We're broadcasting live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. And we got two special guests in the studio from the University of St. Thomas at their new center down the street here. We have Dr. Carla
Alsandor.
Oh, see, I told you it was like a Lord of the Rings name. Alsandor. And then we have
daughter
Brenda.
of Aragorn.
Brenda.
Banegas.
Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome.
And so Carla's the interim director at UST, and Brenda is the recruitment counselor.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Slow down again. What was that? Interim director?
Carla, interim director.
What's that mean?
Director for the interim.
What's that mean?
For the knots, for now. She needs to pay off a few more people before they can remove interim from her name. And
is that
she's
like
the
a pay
director.
thing? It's like we don't have to pay you this much if we put this title in front of you? I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah, so not exactly, but we started this project about a year or so ago, and at that time, and I still am, in fact, the Senior Director of Alumni Relations at the university, but there was an opportunity to be a part of this new project, right? Very innovative approach that we're taking by starting a micro campus up here in Conroe. And I live in the Woodlands, and so the opportunity to come up here is quite easy for me.
Oh, yeah. Going south is not easy. Going north is easy.
Yeah, it's
well, it's
much
cool.
easier.
Yeah, because people didn't know there's a building on Main, at the corner of Main and West Davis, and
It's the USTMAX Center.
Center. I put all the info and stuff in the description. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're a micro campus of the University of St. Thomas. Like I said, the first time anything like this has been done with our university, although micro campuses do exist with other universities around the country and around the world, in fact. And this is our first one. And we were invited to come to Conroe because the city is very interested in establishing a presence with a 4-year private university. And we were thrilled with the opportunity to come here and take a look around and see what's going on here. And of course, as you well know, it's one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing communities.
Yeah, way
in
too many
Texas.
people. Way too, well, at least there's enough space to put in places. So, because that's one thing that's interesting that I've learned being up here for almost 10 years is a lot of people who live here stay here. And I know that's very different from Houston. And I think that's kind of as a university, I imagine that's a strong thing because you want people to attend locally and then stay locally, and you start kind of gaining that reputation. Because I know St. Thomas has a wonderful reputation in Houston. You have that beautiful campus, and my wife used to live by there. And you could one thing I do know that she liked is the Pokemon there apparently are like awesome.
Oh, that Pokemon Go thing?
Yeah, the Pokemon game. Yeah, like she's like, there's people everywhere. I don't know if they attend. But at least
that's odd. I don't remember seeing that on the recruitment brochures. Pokemon Hotspot. You could probably
have been back when that became all the rage.
Yeah, and but yeah, y'all are like located right at the heart of Houston, and now we have a micro center, which it's
right in the heart of Conroe.
Yeah, and so let's let people know kind of like what it is. So it's a 2-story building.
We have the lower level of that 2-story building, so it's a small footprint, but which thus the name micro campus. And the idea is to have a small storefront that's visible and accessible to the locals so that we can establish ourselves as being a part of the community, gives them a place to come in, find out what the different programs are that we offer. And in addition to that, it just serves as a point of outreach for us, for our alumni and the local business community.
Well, because I imagine with the future of technology, and especially with COVID teaching us, like, we have to change the way we do most of our lively stuff. Like, doing college, you can really make it work having, like, a micro center because a lot of stuff can be done online, but then there's other opportunities to do.
Well, I was going to ask about, you say the ideas for this started or seeded last year, I'm presuming pre-COVID. So how did you adapt as COVID kind of reared its ugly head over this past year?
Really good question. And the University of St. Thomas, I'm so proud of the way that our leadership approached the challenges related to COVID-19. We just immediately got started with seeing how we would transition our classes to be online to finish out last semester. That was crucial right there at the crux of what was happening. And we did that. We did that successfully. Graduated some students successfully, even though they did not get to commence.
Yeah.
You know, we're still looking at ways to provide them with that wonderful opportunity, which we'll be doing later this month, in fact. But in addition to just getting through that initial time period, we set about during the summer to establish as much online programming as we could. We have a new vice president that's come on board whose specialty is online education. And he hired in several new instructional designers, and they got busy putting as many of our programs online, fully online, properly online as possible to get started this semester, and also established a hybrid approach so that depending on what the circumstances were in Harris County at the time for whether or not you could do in-person classroom education or not, we were ready to go in both ways. And then our students and faculty were given the option, you know, do you want to be in the classroom if that's possible, or would you rather be 100% online? And so we made that option available to them so that they have that choice.
Nice.
I wish I could go back to school, I guess.
It's never too late. Go for the continuing education.
It is never too late. We can hook you up.
Okay, so let's kind of talk about that with the location. What does University of St. Thomas offer the folks here? You can everyone can talk. You don't have to.
Yeah, so the main things that we're offering right now are the online graduate degrees. So
Okay.
we have multiple masters of education that are completely online. So people that want to go into leadership or school counseling, we have options for them, for the people that work, you know, in education. Also, multiple theology master's degrees, faith and culture, John Paul II studies. So people that want to learn more about their faith, we have programs completely online for them. Then something that's really popular right now are the nursing degrees. And so those are a little bit hybrid because you do have to go into labs, but those programs also offer coursework online. So the Master of Science in Nursing, and there's an RN to MSN program. And then something that we're really excited to mention is the associate degree. So we have 3 associate's degrees in technology. So cybersecurity, networking technology, electronic technology. For people that apply and are admitted for the spring semester, they get that first semester completely free.
Wow.
Free of
Hold on, say that
tuition.
again? How's that
So
work?
the Associates of Applied Science degrees in cybersecurity, networking technology, and electronic technology. If
Okay.
you are admitted to the spring semester 2021, you get free tuition.
Now, is that put up by somebody that's like, hey, I really want to support this field, or is that just something that St. Thomas, the University of St. Thomas does, or can you explain that at all?
The university has made it possible for this to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing opportunity for us to be able to introduce these programs here in
Yeah.
the northern part of the Houston region, right? So in Montgomery County in particular.
Because what's funny to me about certain avenues, and I learned, especially when I went to an undergraduate, my wife's the same way. She attended Baylor University. She wanted to be a nurse, but then she realized how much money it is. So she went to ACC and got her, I guess, the LVN, which isn't like, she basically goes, if someone told me this was available, I would have done this the first time. And so there's so many different avenues. So that's what's so neat about this center you guys have. You have somebody there that can kind of guide people in to figuring out what works best for them financially, and especially with their quality of life and things like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The microcampus is meant to serve as a center for us to be able to accommodate those online learners. It's to support the online learning that we have. We have a beautiful classroom here, but the main purpose of that classroom really is to support the concept of being an online student. So in other words, you can come into the center and zoom into your classes from the center if, for whatever reason, you have technology challenges at home, or if you just want to get away to a quieter environment for when you're studying and when you're taking your classes, the center can serve that purpose. We as staff members here can also serve to support the students in whatever ways possible. we'll have professors coming here from time to time, but for the most part, they would be Zoom classes, online classes.
Awesome. We have a listener asking where they could find information about this tuition that you were just talking, the free tuition that you were talking about.
So you can visit our website. It's USTMAX.com, and you'll find information there. The first thing you'll see is the free tuition banner, and it'll take you to the application so that you can be enrolled in this program. And something that I would also like to mention, on December 3rd at 5 p.m., we're having an information session online via Zoom to talk more about these 3 associate degrees. So you can email us at maxcenter@stthom, with an H, THOM.edu, and we can get you registered for the information session.
That is so good. And I'm so happy to hear that both the education programs and nursing programs are back. When I went to University of St. Thomas, it was 1982. And as I was going in, they had an education and nursing schools there, and those were removed, canceled, however you phrase it. And we had some people bummed about that. But to have them come back, that's amazing, because I loved my time at UST. But I know that a lot of people were looking forward to the nursing program. So to have them back after those years is a wonderful addition.
Yeah, that's really great that you bring that up, because nursing is, the field of nursing has just exploded, not just in the last several months due to COVID-19, but even before that. And here in the north part of Houston, we have essentially Medical Center North here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's a lot of opportunities for people in the medical field here.
Amazing, and there is a great need for nursing in particular. And so we're glad to be able to offer those opportunities, not only at the main campus, which is in the Houston Medical Center, but also here in the North region.
Dick, I think I should go in for the cybersecurity, because I'm really the first person you want in charge of your personal online information.
You look
but
like,
I think you should go
look like the standard hacker kind of person, where it's like you're wearing the Hawaiian shirt. You're like, hey, man, I've been in the basement for 3 months.
See, it's a double bluff. I look like it, but they say, no, he can't be, and that way I can sneak in. But I think you should go for the nursing program.
So you're an actor.
I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And in fact, USC still has this awesome drama program.
We have an awesome drama program as well, yes. It's a little hard to do that online. The fine arts is, of course, like at every university, they're struggling right now to maintain engagement with their students and give them all the opportunities that they expected, when they became students. But it's amazing to me to see what they're doing in the online environment, even the dance program.
Yeah, the music, dance, drama, they're all trying to be very creative to do things online to keep people engaged and to, keep doing things.
Well, so we have the center here. It's open, so people can come. They can call. They can check it out.
We are.
And
is there going to be like an open house scenario?
Yes, so
you missed it.
Making sure they drive it both. We have more people listening right now.
Yes, well, you might have missed the original ribbon cutting, which was just over a month ago, October 20th. It was a wonderful day. We not only cut the ribbon with the help of the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce, but we also blessed our space. And so the chaplain of the University of St.
I've never
Thomas
seen
was
that,
here.
by the way. That was the first time I've seen someone bless a place.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
Well, I grew up in England, man. Everything got blessed. I mean, everything.
That was a very important part of those first steps for us, being a Catholic institution, to have the space blessed. And I feel that it is now holy ground. And so anyone that comes and visits with us at the University of St. Thomas micro campus, the USTMAX Center, will be in a blessed space. And we invite people to come in and be there with us to learn more about what we do. But if you happen to miss the ribbon cutting, we are going to have more of a grand opening at some point when things ease up a little bit for us and the social distancing isn't so much of an issue. We'll schedule that.
That's
a grand
awesome.
opening of some kind, yes. So stay tuned.
And we can live remote from it.
Yes, you could.
This is the bathroom. Is that he wanted to do that? He wanted to go places and check out their bathrooms. It's really weird.
You can always tell from their bookshelves and their
we
bathrooms.
Have really nice ones.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's inform the listeners about the connection to is it Catholicism? Is that the correct way to?
Yeah.
Say it? So let's talk about that, because I know, like, I attended Abilene Christian University, so when I attended it, I was required to do so many hours of religious studies. I think I did like 14 hours of it or something like that. And we had to attend chapels and stuff like that. So how does that work for the micro campus, and what should future students expect?
Really good question.
So for the undergraduate degrees, the students do have to go through 2 years of core curriculum, and that includes 3 classes of philosophy and 3 classes of theology. And so
I'm flashing back, sorry.
Yeah, and everything is taught from a Catholic point of view, but they're also open. So, the university is very diverse. It is about 40% Catholic, but we have a lot of people from other faith traditions, Muslim, Jewish, other Christian denominations, or no faith at all. So, it's a very welcoming university, very diverse, and also very accessible. I think as a private institution, a lot of times people think, it's going to be too expensive. But the university is really works with people one-on-one to make it accessible with financial aid, with scholarships, so that we don't want anybody to
Free
think
tuition.
Yeah, free tuition with the associate's degrees. So we don't want anybody to think, it's not accessible to me. No, try it. Look into it, and we'll definitely help you out and try to make it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I did not know going in is I learned when I left was like, if you have any concerns about, like I said, the quality of your life, if you have kids, if you can't go to school because you have a full-time job or it's too expensive. One thing I learned is just ask. You got to find the right person to give the right answers, and you can always find a way if you really want to go for it. Because I learned that through a lot of people who attended a lot of private universities, and they're like, yeah, I just talked to this. I got X amount of money knocked off because I just applied for this certain scholarship, or I basically got to go for school for free for a year because I qualified for so much stuff.
Yeah,
so
the resources are there. You're right. You just need to ask, and that's what we're here for, to be a resource to help guide people through that process. And also, I wanted to mention you were talking about being a full-time employee, but still wanting to pursue that higher academic goal that you have. Our online courses, in many cases, are taught in an asynchronous manner, meaning that you can attend those classes at the times that are convenient for you. They're recorded, and you can get involved. You can get into your classes at the time that works. And then there are those synchronous classes that are all at the same time. You're online, but you're with your classmates and your professor in real time. Those options are available. And as Brenda was saying, we have the core curriculum that can be designed for the undergraduates to accommodate what it is that they're most interested in. You don't have to know when you start at a university exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life. We don't ask you to come in immediately and declare a major. That's the beauty of what we do here. We can help a student, a high schooler who's interested in pursuing higher education, just get started with the basics. Come and join us and learn what it means to be a college student, how you have to conduct yourself in order to stay up with all of your assignments and your homework and your studying, etc. And then we'll help guide you through the process of figuring out what resonates best for you. What type of degree program might you be interested in getting involved with after those first 2 initial years. So we're excited.
There's a lot going on,
yes.
that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, I'm living proof of the whole diversity thing, because when I went into St. Thomas, the brief history behind that is I grew up overseas, but when I was a little kid, from that time on, I'd always wanted to go to Rice University for some reason. I saw a brochure. So when we moved back to America, I went to Rice, and I was 16 at the time, and I had some SAT scores and my British O levels, and they wouldn't accept me because I was too young. They said, you need to wait a year, and which really ticked me off because they had this 9-year-old prodigy going at the same time. I was too old to be a prodigy. So I was like, well, if you won't take me, who would? And they said, well, there's this little podunk university around the corner called St. Thomas. Go there. Well, growing up in England, everything is Saint this and that. I didn't, because, I was Anglican Baptist. And so I go there. They, accept me on the spot. I'm at the registrar's office. And then I turn and look behind me on the wall. I say, Houston's Catholic University. And I thought, I'm in trouble because I'm not Catholic. And so I had to admit, guys, I'm not Catholic. Oh, no. And like what you said, 40% aren't, or 60% aren't Catholic. We have this and that. And so when I took the core, man, I ate up theology. There's this, my professor, Father Mandry, Stephen Mandry, was awesome. He's spoke 11 languages, wrote 9. And I ended up taking 3 or 4 years of theology just because you keep on eating it up, and then philosophy. Yeah. And it's great to have those core things because it's well-rounded. And, I was the most non-Catholic person at that time.
Let me ask you this. So say, cool. Participating in the University of St. Thomas Max Center, am I basically at University of St. Thomas?
Yes.
So I can go there.
You got the secret handshake and
well,
everything.
I mean, like I was like, say, classes do open up and you want to keep attending different things, but like, I do want to take.
Oh, you like going?
I want to
actually
take that class you just recommended,
Mhm.
and but so people don't think this is a separate deal. You're going to University of St. Thomas.
You are going to the University of St. Thomas. That's absolutely correct. And whereas what we're doing here is promoting online education, like I mentioned earlier, the hybrid option is something that we are very much wanting to maintain for our students, because you're right, there is that desire amongst some students to have the interaction with classmates and with their professors. And so, yes, there would be some opportunities for our students to go down to main campus if they wanted to do that. But I also want to remind everyone that we are going to make those opportunities available right here at the micro campus as well. Professors have already told us they'd like to come up, they'd like to hold some office hours here, they'd like to do orientations and other just in-person things at the micro campus so that the students from Montgomery County can enjoy all of what the university has to offer right here in their own backyard.
And that also includes resources like career services, UST veterans. We're all one community at the University of St. Thomas, so they've also expressed that interest to come to Conroe and be here sometimes throughout the semester to meet with students and to also provide services to them that way.
And let me add that we are interested in reaching out and becoming friends with the corporate community here in Montgomery County as well, because we'd like to hear from them. What types of programs would be beneficial to you as you continue to expand your workforce? What would help you to be more successful in your business? We can be very limber in that way and nimble, and create new programs that didn't exist before.
Well, I've already seen it. I mean, these associates you're offering in cybersecurity, literally, when I went through it, that literally did not exist.
Yeah.
It was one of those future things.
Yeah,
So
in its second year, and it's going like gangbusters.
I really want to get in on that, man.
One thing that it's not ironic, but with COVID speaking to universities, there's so much more positivity in the pursuit of higher education. It seems like, because you really do have to change the message, because a lot of people are taking a step back, but and as universities, you're like, no, we got to go forward, because this is a long process. This isn't a 2-week class and you're done, you're getting your degree. It's like, no, you got a plan. And it sounds like the Max Center will help people make that plan and make it fit for you, not for the university.
Now, we've been getting
That's
a
very
lot
well
of questions.
said.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say
Unlike
this.
ACU. I'm looking at UACU.
Yeah, right. No, USD had it all. That's why I helped them. They had a competition for like a catchphrase thing, and they came up with in the heart of UST's the heart of Houston, and the UST for Houston.
You
Yeah.
did that?
Yeah.
Well, that's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So
No, that's back in the day. And
Way to
if those
go.
benches are still there, me and some seminarians put those together.
that's so cool, Skippy.
I just paid them off and
I didn't do anything in
beer and
ACU.
seminarians just offer them
I
beer and
paid on
pizza,
time.
and they
That's
did great.
basically what I did.
But we've been getting a lot of some questions from listeners, and I think what we can do is, when you look at our feed afterwards, when this video goes up, feel free to answer these questions because they're kind of all over the place. One question, this one: does the microcampus offer learning disability support in the classroom, i.e., dyslexia help, et cetera, like the main campus? No, I'm sure that with the microcampus, you have as many resources as possible, but I'm probably it's going to grow as the needs grow.
Yeah, we'll make those resources available to our students as you said, as those needs become evident to us. We won't have every support service located here by any means. We cannot do that at the microcampus, but we can connect our students to those resources at the main campus.
Solid.
All right. Well, cool. I guess let's just say who you are again and how people can contact you, and then we're good.
Awesome. So my name is Carla Alsandor. I have served as the interim director of the USTMAX Center for about a year, like you said, and looking forward to the future of the Max. But I have also at the same time maintained my position as Senior Director of Alumni Relations for the University of St. Thomas. And so I do want to give a shout out to all the alums in Montgomery County, Skippy being among them. And we want to invite them all to our first of many, I hope, alumni gatherings at the center. Because as I said at the beginning, we want the center to also serve as a point of contact and a place to gather with our alums. And there are many, many alums, more than 1,600 in the North Houston region.
We're everywhere, dude.
And I'm Brenda Banegas, so the recruitment counselor at USTMAX. You can visit our website, ustmax.com. Email us at maxcenter@sttom.edu. That's STTHOM.edu. And you can follow us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter at USTMAX Center. So follow us, and we'll stay connected.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you so
appreciate
much
you guys
for
being
having
on.
us,
Yeah, and I
guys.
just love the concept of this micro campus altogether. It's just really good. May have to get us back in there, Dick.
Yeah.
Dick, the
We'll take
cap
some-
looks great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, they brought us some amazing swag
I
here.
like it.
I got a TV gig after this, so I can't have my hat hair. So yeah, we'll just put it on briefly. There we go.
There you go.
I miss when I could have hat hair too.
Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Dick and Skippy. You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio's irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and we'll be right back with more Dick and Skippy.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris. And we're with the Ticket Stub Podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub Podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
We have the safest food supply in the world. Strict laws and regulations restrict the usage of hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides within our food supply. Production agriculture practices and technologies such as the use of GMOs, which is not any more or less risky than conventional crop production, has allowed American farmers to produce more food on less acres in environmentally sound ways. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension, helping Texans make lives better.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
All right, we're back. Hanging out. Dick and Skippy in the mornings. irlonestar.com.
Hey, Dick, look, they gave us some beautiful swag here. The
Yeah.
ball caps, some travel mugs, pens. But just for me, they brought a little alumni pin. I'm going to wear that all day today.
You know what? I don't really think that is appropriate, but we'll figure it out.
I earned it, man.
But yeah, we're hanging out here for a little bit, just saying goodbye and
Yeah, hello to Nick who tuned in. Don't forget, if you tuned in late to us today, just rewind the video.
Yeah. And I do want to remind folks, we do have our taco video dropping at 3 o'clock at Torchy's Tacos here in Conroe in the South
So it's
Loop.
our first chain that we went to.
It's gonna be a good review. So make sure to follow us on social media for that. And then we do have some special guests throughout the week, so we will have a show on Wednesday and Friday. And just make sure to follow us on Facebook, check out our events. See who's
Friday's
going to
be fun, coming over the carb coma, the food coma that will be undergoing the day after Thanksgiving.
But yeah, so I guess everyone be safe out there. Thanksgiving is this week, so if you're traveling, be safe and be, aware of what your food allergies are. And
well, I think if you made it this far in life, you know what they are, so just avoid them.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I mean, happy Thanksgiving for folks, and we'll be back on.
I'm looking forward to this holiday season. I have a feeling, fingers crossed, we'll be coming out of the wackiness. I'd like to think 2021 will be. Remember how, as 2019 was ending, we couldn't wait for 2020 to hit?
No, I don't remember ever anticipating it.
Oh, yeah, because all these
really
celebrities were dying and stuff. Like, 2020, hurry up. Well, now I know we can't wait for 2021. But I have warm fuzzies about the upcoming year.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Well, there we go.
But, special thanks to our guests, Carla and Brenda with the USTMAX Center. So I'm so happy to hear about that. I'm going to go check them out. And I want to get in that cybersecurity thing, man, because I think it's what I'm well suited for.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
Well, you've been listening to Dick and Skippy here on Lone Star Community Radio. We're going to be signing out. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Ooh, I got the burps, man. But yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, audience.
Today's show was recorded and broadcasted live on irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and all rights and ownership are reserved to Lone Star Community Radio. For more information regarding this program and Lone Star Community Radio, visit us online at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, serving the community with local programming on TV, radio, and online. If you enjoyed today's program, please support us by sponsorship or starting your own show. Contact us today by phone or text at 936-666-1084 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.